Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Dowsey. I'm Dowsey LeMay. I hope all of you beautiful souls out there are doing great wherever you are in the world. And I just want to say thank you for your love and support for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. I appreciate it so much. Also, if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe and follow if what I talk about here in the video resonate with you. And if it doesn't, leave it. These just happen to be my truths. They don't have to be yours. Also, if they do resonate with you, feel free to check out my other social media platforms where I'll put a link in the description box below. Okay, so I wanted to do this fun and friendly discussion or video about the idea of, are you a starseed? And what does it mean to be a starseed, okay? I am sure many of you have heard of this topic around starseeds, especially if you've been on the spiritual path or you are on the spiritual path and you've come across this some way or some fashion. And what does it mean and how does that relate to you? There are so many speakers who've talked about this. There's so much information, but I just thought that having my experiences and what I go through with dealing with a starseed may relate to you and offer you another level of connection so that you don't feel so alone or isolated in this world where you don't feel like you belong. Because for sure, that is a theme about being a starseed. Like you just don't feel like you belong on this planet. And that can leave you feeling a little bit lonely, all right? Now, what does it mean to be a starseed? What is a starseed? Okay, to me, I know many different people have different, I would say, definitions or whatever way they want to label it. But for me, it is really a soul that carries a strong resonance or a vibrational coherence that is non-earth origin, or rather, energies that have been carried on or been integrated into the soul from other places beyond Earth. So this could be other planets, other solar system, or even different galaxies in general. And unfortunately, the human construct of our planet, the magnetic structure of our planet, makes it very difficult for us to remember the fullness of this idea about us. But we do have these innate aspects within us that's reflected in many different ways in our life, which I'm hoping to share with you in terms of the common themes that perhaps may question or make you say, yes, that is exactly how I feel, and perhaps I am a starseed as well. All right? So let me give you a few things, examples of why I feel like, in general, a starseed. My first experience happens to deal with the idea of being with my spiritual guides and my spirit guides, and that they disclosed to me, if many of you who've read my book, you know this in the first chapter or so, which is behind me, Becoming the Creator. My spirit guides and my spirit team disclosed to me that I am a meteor that has crashed into this planet. So by definition, a meteor is something that is foreign to this planet. It came from the outside and it crashed into this planet. And to me, that is exactly in the embodiment of how I feel when I look at my life and how I interact with it and why I look at this society and why I feel alone and all these different things. I am energetically a vibrational coherence or a frequency that is originated off Earth and has come to this planet for some reason, some kind of contract, for some purpose, and it is foreign to the energetics of this world. In addition, I have done a past life regression or parallel life regression, if you will, where I do recall and remember a life, a parallel life where I was an interdimensional being. And in that interdimensional being, I remember doing research and connecting soil from different planets and doing tests and trying to understand radiation and how that is impacting the planet, the species, as well as the entire solar system. And I also remember the technology and these beds, and also coming to Earth and observing in a very unbiased way humanity in this planet and what it's going through. And I think that's where I developed this massive amount of compassion for humanity. And perhaps that's where my soul decided to say, all right, I'm going to give it a try and try to help out humanity and incarnate into my next life, whatever it may be. But that definitely adds to this level of feeling like a starseed, the past life regression, what my guides have told me, and all these other things that I feel. So those are just two examples of why I feel like a starseed, but there are so many common themes for many of us who feel like starseeds, and these might be a few of them for you. Okay, so what I feel and what I think are common themes for many of you. I know when the nighttime comes and the stars come out, I find myself always staring up at the stars, always drawn to the stars and feeling like there's something else up there. There's a sense of home somewhere else. Many of us, and those who I've talked to, definitely have this experience, this feeling, this nostalgia of feeling like home is somewhere else in the stars. You are drawn to the stars. In addition, you may actually be drawn to certain stars in the sky, which may seem brighter to you, which may just draw your attention to you. So next time when you're up at night and you're looking up at the night sky, pay attention to where you are drawn and where your attention is drawn and what stars are up there, what constellations you're looking at. Because what you may see, what may draw your attention, what seems brighter in the sky, actually perhaps may be where the vast majority of your energy, your vibrational coherence, your frequency may be coming from in terms of those stars or areas in the night sky that you're looking for. All right. On top of that, when you're looking up at the stars, you just know for a fact. I mean, it's not a question. You don't need disclosure. You don't need anybody else to tell you. You don't really even need to do much research. You just know for a fact that there are higher dimensional, interdimensional beings that exist up there. This is just a knowing within your vibrational being. Like, it is like, yeah, that's absolutely true. How can we be alone here? How can humans honestly think that they are the only ones in the universe? It's just nonsense to think about that. Mathematically, the world, and as many of you guys know, and as I write in the book, Source wants to experience itself, and to experience itself, it creates life in many different myriads to expand and to grow and to experience itself. And so this universe, this world that we exist in, is froth full of life. We're just being hidden from that in many ways. But it's a knowing within you that there are intelligent life forms. There are other galactic families and beings and interdimensional beings that exist out there. We just can't see it, but you know it within you. Now, this area can become a little bit ungrounded here because there's just so many different energies and consciousness and information and material out there. But for sure, I'm sure many of you have heard, like, different societies or civilizations or interdimensional pockets of beings. So this would be like the Palladians, this would be like the Arcturians, the Orions, the Sirians, whatever it is. You may find yourself pulled to a certain group of interdimensional beings that have that people have talked about, right? Or star clusters or areas or even galactics like the Andromedans, etc. You may be pulled to that information, and that is an indication from your innate, your vibrational being speaking to you, not in a linear perspective, but through feeling and through a desire to say, this is kind of where you've had some of your energies. This is where you have spent some time, etc. And so be mindful of that when you're looking up at the night skies and where you're getting drawn in the areas of the sky you're looking at, in the constellation or groups of stars or whatever. That could be speaking to where you are drawn to, what types of intergalactic civilizations that you may have spent some time there, etc. PSA, public service announcement though, when it comes to this area, you really need discernment here. You really need to discern for yourself before of the information that you are taking on and researching into. Because there's been a lot of hijacking in this area. There's been a lot of misinformation. And I just think sometimes it's best for you to just observe, see what resonates with you, see what truly sits as a truth within you before you decide to take it on and define yourself through whatever information you are holding on to. All right. Another theme, I think, for many starseeds is the idea of astro travel, out of body, dream, or contact in the astral realm. I know for me, my experience is that I am always in contact with different interdimensional beings, or seeing UFOs or different beings that just like that's not human. That's not human, and that's definitely not an airplane, and that's definitely a UFO, and I'm seeing them travel and all these different things, and they don't fit in the normal. I remember one time in Astro Travel, I ran across, this is just one example. I ran across a being, and that being took on the human form, but through detail of me looking at them, observing them, they definitely weren't human. One of the tall tale things that they gave way to me was that they had these bright blue, bright blue in terms of, it almost looked like they were backlit, right? There was like light emanating from their eyes. And it was like this crystal clear blue, and they spoke through telepathy. Obviously, in the astral realm, you don't speak specifically through words, but through telepathy and a knowing. And it was just this unbelievable conversation and understanding of my reality, and as well as knowing that they weren't from this planet. So you get these interactions in dreams in astro travel where you interact with civilizations or off-world dimensional beings that you may have spent time with them, and therefore they're just here to help you and support you through your human incarnation. So that is definitely one tall tale sign that you're a starseed, that through the astral travel, through your dreams, that you are connecting with interdimensional beings. All right. One of the biggest things for many of you starseeds is that you don't feel like you belong here. You don't feel like you belong on this planet, right? Our vibration in from all these non-Earth existence are so strong and integrated within us that when we incarnate into this planet, that vibration can be such a dissonance that you recognize that your interaction with this vibration in this planet is just so inconsistent, so conflicting, that you just get this sense like, I don't belong here. I do not belong here, right? And that leaves you feeling like alone. It leaves you feeling like there's something wrong with this society. There's something wrong with this planet. And in addition, you just have this deep desire to change the way things are done. Okay? Now, I want you to understand that desire, that feeling that you don't belong here, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. What that actually means is that you have this vibration of higher consciousness. You have this coherence and resonance in vibration that is meant to be higher, where it's meant to change the world that you are living in. All right. It isn't the fact that you don't belong here. It's the fact that you were meant to come here to change the current vibration as you go forward. So this leaves this inverted sense for many of us that we have this need to do something. That you have this massive desire. You don't know what it is. Well, and sometimes you don't know what your purpose is, but you just know you came here for a reason. You came here to do something, to change something, but it's a very strong innate feeling within you. Now, from what I can tell you from my own experience around that, and the reason why we have that feeling is because pre-incarnation, our vibration obviously is really integrated with all these non-earth origins. That vibration is so strong with you that when you pull into the human incarnation, obviously the magnetics of this field removes a lot of the memory and the fullness of all that, that you're left with this strong vibration of what you have carried in with it, and this underlying idea that you were kind of meant to do something, and that leaves this emptiness of saying, I'm here to do something, but I just don't know what. When in fact, I will speak to that, this idea of needing to do something and wanting to do something as a starseed could just only have been just to be here offering your vibration to the world. We came in here with a different vibration, with the agreement that we were going to incarnate into this human existence, onto this planet, to help shift the magnetics, to help shift the vibration of the planet by just being. And although we have forgotten a lot of that, that leaves us with this underlying idea or sensation that we're here to do something, but we don't know. And maybe we think linearly we're here to make big things happen, when in fact the biggest thing that you are doing in offering to this planet is just by existing, just by being you, being authentic, being true to yourself, being your empowered, sovereign, spiritual self, is offering so much to this planet. And I want you to remember that that's where your worth is. It isn't worth from doing, it's from being and offering that love and space, holding the light, holding that vibration, grounding that consciousness into this planet that is offering the greatest amount of shift for our world. All right? So let's see. Another thing is also, as part of not feeling like you belong here or feeling like you were here to make a change for the world, there is this driving idea or sensation of knowing of a better way to live. When I look at this planet, when I look at the structures of this planet, the societal structure, from government, from financial, from the social aspect, from our education, everything, you just know there is such a better way of doing things. The way we source energy, the way we utilize source energy to create these very limited structures, you just know within you that there is a better way to live, that there is a better, more efficient, more loving, more connected, and more compassionate way of living. You know this within you. And a lot of that is because you may actually have visions. You may actually have this feeling and sensation and see visions of you being somewhere else, living in a society that is utopic, that is beautiful, that is intergalactic, that is all the things that humanity is supposed to be leading towards in the golden age of humanity. That is for sure how I feel, for sure the things that I've experienced, and seeing those different visions and being there, especially in the past life or parallel life regressions, certainly aids and confirms this idea of me being a starseed, and hopefully the same goes for you. Another thing about being a starseed, for what I have discovered, is because of the higher level of consciousness, because of this integration of this vibration that is different, I would say, in many cases from a hierarchical standpoint, a little bit higher in vibration and consciousness. For the most part, starseeds are already awakened. They're already awakened. They're on their path. They are in their sovereign empowerment. They are holding the light. They are grounding the consciousness and light into this planet. In most cases, they're most likely to have some gifts, or rather what I would say, natural aspects of having higher consciousness or higher vibration. So this means psychic gifts such as the clairs, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant, and also perhaps the ability to channel and connect with consciousness or energies in several different dimensions, whether it be the fourth, fifth, seventh, etc. All right, you certainly would have the ability and the I would say the gifts to be able to utilize your third eye, to be able to see energy, to be able to help heal, raise the frequency of both humanity and densities on this planet. You'll be able to hear guides, etc. That's for most cases for starseeds. They're to me are usually the ones that are integrating this energy and utilizing it through their gifts to help this planet raise its frequency, help raise the consciousness of this planet. Not to say that all starseeds or people who aren't starseeds don't have it. It's just that for most people that I've known who are starseeds have some level of gift, have some these psychic things to help them aid in the process, because it's part of the natural evolution of higher consciousness as you go along, which is being brought in from the outside into this dense world that we live in currently, okay? But so those are just really some common themes. You're drawn to the stars, you feel like you're alone, you feel like all these things I talked about. But I will say this regards to a starseed, that in some level is also part of the illusion of separation. Remember what I say in my book and what I always talk about is that we are all part of creation. We are part of source. You are, your essence is a fragment, a whole and complete part of source. So this starseed identification is all but at another level of separation, because you in a sense are the stars. You in a sense are the planets. You are the sun. You are everything in between, and you are the galaxy, etc. So it's hard to say from one level that you are a starseed, yet everyone here at some level is a starseed. Yet there is a level on a linear perspective that some of you, I would say, your souls, your fragments of your higher self, have probably spent more time elsewhere. And in that expansion of what I'm talking about on a linear perspective, then yes, you would be said that you are a starseed on level that has incarnated with a higher vibration and higher consciousness, or a vibrational coherence that is different than what this earthly bound existence is, right? Right? You've incarnated into this school of sorts. So on this level, yes, you could be a starseed if you relate to a lot of those common themes I talked about. But again, what I say is that at some level, we are all starseeds, because we are all that there is. But again, on this hierarchical explanation, we are, for many of you, you are starseeds because you've probably had more experiences somewhere else, all right? The last thing I want to say on this thing is the idea, again, to reiterate the idea of discernment. All right. Especially when it comes to relating in acknowledging the fact that you may be from different species or intergalactic races or families. What I want to reassure and emphasize is the idea of discernment, both in the idea of the informational discernment, but also in the idea of discernment in terms of trying to connect with these type of interdimensional beings or the energies associated with whatever group that you're looking to do. If you are trying to do that, if you are looking to research more or discover more about the starseed and which area you are from, I always say, it is always in your best interest to put a level of protection or put yourself in a space that offers you some level of protection before you decide to just go out into something that you really don't have a full understanding about. And that through that protection, you offer yourself the ability to discern which is for your highest good. I will say this, there are many spectrums to the world of, from a human perspective, good versus bad, light versus dark, right? There are many different species that align on this range of good and bad, or love versus fear mongering. You will find that there are all sorts of consciousness that are looking to assist humanity in the love and light that what is the oneness of all. And then you'll find that there are intelligence and consciousness that may not be in the highest good of all as well. Be mindful that the energy is associated with each one of them. All of them each have their own agenda. Some of those agendas may be for the betterment of humanity. Some of them may not be for the betterment, the best of humanity. But in one way or another, they all probably have some level of agenda that they're trying to achieve through whatever energy is being co-created in that moment. It is thrust upon you as the creator, as one who puts their intention into this, to connect or whatever it is that you're looking to do, to be mindful of where you're putting your energy and how you subject your energy to that conscious in energy as well. That's why I recommend, before you decide to do this, that you put yourself in a space of protection, of light and love for your highest good, and use your discernment in whatever it is that you are interacting with, whether that be from human information or whether that be from something from an astral or even a collective channeling of some sort. Okay? Just be mindful, because we don't have full disclosure, and you may not have the full idea of it. It just may be, common sense to say, well, before I throw myself out into the soup of whatever vibration is out there, because I'm just dabbling in there, to just say, maybe it's best that I just kind of do this first before I decide to open myself up to whatever is out there. All right? That's just hopefully some things I think will help relate with many of you who feel like they're starseeds. I wanted to give my experience and what I go through and what I feel like as a starseed, and perhaps a couple tips and things to be mindful of in regards to all these other areas. All right. I hope that helps you. I love all you beautiful souls, especially starseeds out there. And I hope this helps you find another level of connection where you don't feel so alone, and you can say, there are others just like me, and we are doing the exact same thing, which is offering our love and service to all to help raise the consciousness and light and vibration of this planet into hopes to achieve the golden age of humanity. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.